The purpose of this video is to help beekeepers, beginner beekeepers, and novice. And I'm not a speaker. I'm not a professional video person. So hopefully I can give you some real useful helps on beekeeping. Now this is a miniature hive, and this top on here is what they call a migratory top. If you'll see, it's got a ridge here and ridge here that overhangs on the ends. It does not have anything on the side. Now, commercial beekeepers do things a lot different than hobbyist beekeepers, and this migratory top is one of them. So I'll use this hive. It's cold outside. I'll use this hive to illustrate some things, some points that I want to give you. If you're getting hives, one or more hives for the first time, I think it's a good idea to start with 2 colonies. That way you can compare them. You can use one hive to maybe build the other one up if one hive is too weak. I'm Tim Durham with Durham's Bee Farm, and I have made a lot of videos to help beekeepers, specific topics. For example, how to put frames together. So if you go to YouTube and type in Walls Bee Man, you can see all my videos, and that's Walls Bee Man, WALLS BEEMAN. You will hear a lot of people, you will hear different opinions, and there's a lot of things in beekeeping that one way is not the only way. So beekeepers do things differently, and there are some things, and I hope I cover them here, that I believe are ironclad. There's one correct way. Anything else you're going to mess up. So I hope I cover them. If you get a swarm, don't assume that you have to requeen that swarm. After that queen has started laying and you go in there and observe it, if she's a good queen, don't requeen. If she's a bad queen, yes. If they're mean, yes. By the way, beginners, use protection, use a veil and gloves. So, because if you just start out and you get stung badly and you have a bad experience, then that'll turn you off real quick. So, starting out, wear protection. Now, this is a miniature colony, a miniature hive, and that's the migratory bee top. And you can see this is the brood chamber. This is the honey super. Okay, I'm gonna set that off. And now, you will hear and read about bee space. Bee space is very important. And when we say bee space, we mean the extra space, the space where the bees crawl around in the hive. If it's too much, there'll be a burr comb. If it's not enough, they'll build propolis. So you want if you're going to make your hive, get one commercial hive and use that as a pattern. Now, for illustration only, I've taken one frame out. There's 9 frames in here for illustration only. Now, concerning your frame, I would not try to make these. You would have to be very meticulous to make these correctly. But when you put them together, be sure that this end bar right here is square with this top bar. Now, here's your top bar. Be sure that this is square there. Very important. Be sure that, now, you're looking, this is the top bar, this is the bottom bar. Be sure that it's square. I don't know how to tell you. When you're looking down, here's the top bar. When you're looking down, look down here and look down here, and be sure it's square that way as well. You don't want this. You don't want this end bar going that way and this end bar going this way. You're gonna have a mess. Be sure your foundation in this frame is in there nice and straight. Now, when you order commercial frames, there will be 4 holes to put wire. You only need wire in the 2 center holes. Okay. Now, if we get a lot of questions about feeding your bees. Enjoy your bees. Go in your hive. It's kind of hard to tell you. A hive can get honey bound, and they can get too much sugar in there or honey where she didn't have room to lay. So if you go in the hive and you don't see any food, any honey, then you need to feed them. Now, I would recommend for a new beekeeper, I really would, it'd be more fun if you order packaged bees. And I made a video on putting packaged bees in a hive. So let's say that in this hive right here, you've already put some packaged bees in there. And let's say they establish themselves on these 3 frames right here. They're not in the center. So we'll say that they establish their comb on these 3 frames. So take you 1 or 2 frames out of the other side, move these over like so, and so essentially what you've done is you've centered them in the center of the hive. Once you centered them in there, you probably won't have to do that again. Now, here's something that is just, it's important. I would recommend going with 10 frames with new beekeepers to begin with. When you put packaged bees in and get them started, have your frames snug together like you see here. The space is on the outside, okay? Now, once they have drawn out 8 frames, 8 out of the 10 frames, so we'll say hypothetically that the 8 frames in the middle they've drawn out comb. Now, in each outside frame is still foundation. So take this outside frame out, move this frame to the outside, put this frame back in there, do the same on the other. Now it will be easier for them to draw them last 2 combs out. Now at this time, you can put a second brood chamber on there. Now I don't want to confuse you, but for years and years, beekeepers have been taught to, when they close up their hive, to press these frames together, leaving the space on the outside. And that's bogus. That's bad. What's going to happen is when you get a heavy honey flow, they're going to draw the comb out on the outside of this outside frame. They're going to draw it out to this wall and attach it to this wall, and you're going to have a mess. You're going to damage this frame when you get ready to take it out. So the answer to that is, this is a 10 frame spacer. You want to divide, the bottom line is, you want to divide the space in your hive, instead of being on both sides, you want to divide it equally among all the frames. And you can do that just by eyesight. You don't have to have a frame spacer. I made this. This piece of wood and wood dowels. But have these frames spaced equally. Now, when you get ready to go in your hive, and I've had beekeepers ask me, well, they're in there so tight I can't get them out. All right, what you do is take your hive tool and press these frames. We'll say this direction, either direction, but we're going to press them this direction, like so. Now you have space here. Now get your hive tool and move this frame back over this way. And the bee supply houses sell a frame grip, and you can grip the top of that hive and use your hive tool and work slowly and pull that frame out. Now once you get one frame out, then you can proceed to get the rest of them out. When you go in your hive, dress it up. Clean off the burr comb off of this frame. And we'll say that you clean that one up in the first 4 or 5, and you were able to verify that they've got a lot of brood, they got a good queen, and you put them back and divide those frames. Now next time you go in the hive to check on them, go from the other side, and then you can clean the 4 or 5 frames. You can clean them up next time, and keep the burr comb cleaned off of your frames. That'll make it more pleasurable. And beekeepers ask, well, what direction should I face my hive? It really doesn't matter. If you can face it south, that'd be good. If you can't, don't worry about it. Vent your hive. So ventilation is very important, and believe it or not, it's more important in the wintertime than it is in the summer. So we'll say that you have a telescopic top, and you got an inner cover. Imagine an inner cover laying here. Put you a little piece of wood under the inner cover, and then you can put your top on, and now there's ventilation. That is important. I would start out with. Probably recommend you to start with 10 frames. Some people have 9 frame hives, but I would start out with 10, and then later on, if you want to go to 9, then you can take 1 out. One beekeeper asked me, said he just loves the bees, and how do you keep from multiplying too many? And that's a good question, because if you enjoy it and you love it, and if you're not careful, you get too many. So if you get a swarm, put it in a hive, and after a couple of weeks later, you verify that it's got a good queen, or doesn't have a good queen. We'll say it's got a good queen. Then we'll say that one of your other hives has got a poor queen. Then you can merge them two, and that's a different video. So I hope this has helped you. And if you go to Walls Bee Man, you can send me a question on there, and I'll be glad to answer it the best I can. So I hope I helped you. And by the way, now there's a lot of good places to order there's several good bee supply houses. I happen to be familiar with Walter T. Kelly in Kentucky. Now right now they're shipping. You want to get your bees in your hive started ideally at the beginning of the honey flow. So somewhere around the end of April, we're in North Mississippi, and somewhere around the latter part of April is a good time to put your package in. Weather can go either way, but like Walter T. Kelly's they're going to ship some bees about the middle of April, and then they're going to ship some on the 23rd of April. And either one will be good. So Good luck to you, and like I say, if you have any questions, let me know.